All right, so I had a little break in the rain here, so I'm gonna try to get these paint meter measurements before it starts raining again. And I dried it off, so let's go here. So looking at the front, the chrome looks like it's in really good shape, right? I didn't see any blemishes, really anything obvious. Grill, again, nicely done. The chips that we typically see are not visible here. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have the notches, right? That's just, your purists, that's what they're gonna look for. So looking at the gaps, they look halfway decent, a little bit off. But let's go ahead and try get these readings. Paint finish looks good. That's 16 thousandths of an inch. Okay, so try that again. 18. So some body filler there. Cowl area 14 and a half. I don't think nothing here. Okay. Looking at the windshield, the glass looks good. Don't see any cracks, chips, signs of delamination. Wood. Here's a shot of it. Nice and ordered. And then the VIN tag. I think I got it right there. Okay. Left front fender. 7.5. 15. And then some body filler there. I don't need to get shots of the wheel well area this time because we got beautiful photos earlier. 11 and a half. Yeah, actually, let me do it just in case I might miss something. Sometimes the angles are a little nicer. So that way we just capture all of the angles. Then looking at the side panels. In the door reading, 11. So body filler here. Okay, door's got a lot of body filler. Let's open and close again. Okay, good. Chrome work looks good. 19.7, 19.7, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 8.5, 8.5. All right, so definitely we're seeing some body color here, but now that we're checking for quality workmanship, right? Let's determine how nice that looks. Looks pretty good. Don't see any waviness. Didn't see any cracks or workmanship issues. It's starting to rain again, so let me hurry up. 14, 11.5, 11.5, 12 and a half, 14. Rear bumper looks good. I've verified all the operation of the lights, brake lights, reverse lights, and license plate lights. Those all operate. Okay, exhaust are looking good. We're seeing some condensation. 6 and a half, 6, 10, 10. One of the guys here explained to me on the top. I think a picture is you'll see it folded up, but he says before you close it down, you can tuck it, and that way you get the nice clean look. Here you can see where it's worn a little bit. I think I've already discussed the top already. The top as far as door closing. Okay, 6. More body filler there. 11, 9, and 9. Let me go back real quick just to do the side panel view. And it's raining again, so I'll move it quickly. That's moving really fast. Right, and let's get the door. 11, 10, 16, 11, and it's got little snaps right here for down the top. 19.7, 19.7, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 21, 19.7, 7. Glass looks good on this side, and then another view of the top. Right. And I saw a little, yeah, here it is. And then here's just a, oh shoot, no, it's not even coming out. That did catch my attention here, and it's just a little blister right there. So I'm gonna try to manipulate the camera a little bit, see if it picks up on it. But it's about the size of a dime. 19.7, so there's bundle work around here. 17. All right, that's it. I'd say the only negative is just the stuff that we saw underneath, but overall, it's a little tricky. So it catches a little bit, and you can see where it doesn't close properly. But if I roll down the window a little bit, I'll just do it all. So that way you know that it's a slight window manipulation. and then closes nice and solid. So window all the way up, it won't close because it's catching here on the rubber, but it does close nicely. Opening, closing, opens nicely, closes nice and solid. I was getting ready to shoot the car outside, but it started pouring now. So Florida weather predictable as possible as usual. But just going looking at everything here, just doing the video here. The wood looks like it's in nice shape there. I checked the operation of the horn, that works. The stock here is it's flimsy, right? So I want to be careful with that. But I did verify the operation of the windshield wipers. Stop there. That works. So horn works. Looking at the ring of the steering wheel, that's in decent shape. RPM sitting pretty. And let's see here. I'm trying to verify the feeling of the defroster anywhere, and I'm not feeling it just yet. The radio, I left it on because it took a little bit to warm up, but that works. Even looks like the cigarette lighter's working. The clock, we'll have to double check on that. And trunk area or glove box. There's a manual there, and the light works. So it looks like they even did the pocket area too. AC does blow cold. I don't want to touch that, but I'm not sure that's really working. Let's see here. Nice plastic there on there. I checked the parking brake. It keeps the car from moving when I engaged it. Outside mirror, and just a view of the top. And it actually has both handles and a pouch, which was kind of cool. I haven't seen the pouch in a long time. So the getting the soft top up, it took a little bit of a struggle, but it turns out there's a trick to this one here. And Johnny's gonna go ahead and explain. Go ahead, Johnny. What do we need to do?
Okay,
here?
On the soft top, when you want to let the whole thing up, once it's all the way back, you have one person on the other side. You pull it from the bottom all the way up.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the key to letting it back is two keys right here. This one,
yep,
and there's one on the other side.
Okay.
If two people are doing this, one person on that side, you get in. This person that's on this side, go over there while that person is standing there.
Let me just do that real quick here.
While that person is standing there, they pull that key back. Once you pull it back a little bit, you just hold it. Then this person can come over here and then pull it all the way back. But the key to it is don't let it go, because if you let it go in your hand in there, cancel Christmas.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so it's gonna take some time to actually get the feel yourself, but just know that it does go up. It will go down. It's just there's a process that you need to go through. All right, so. And is that it, Johnny? That's pretty much okay. I've had the vehicle running now for probably like 2 or 3 minutes now. So when I first started, and I'm gonna go in there again and do it, but after 10 or 12 cranks, it fires right up. Idle is rock solid. Didn't see any type of smoke coming out of the exhaust pipes, so that's looking pretty good. So let's start making our way towards the engine area. Okay, so I don't hear any abnormal noises coming from the top end or bottom end. Coolant look is a nice green color, and let's see if I can still open it without making a mess here. Hold on, stand by. And we want to just check for the usual stuff. So nice, beautiful color, right? Don't see any signs of cross-contamination. We're not seeing any bubbling, so that's all a good sign. Okay, try to get the numbers on the chassis there. Didn't see them there. And sometimes they just paint over them. I've already checked the fluid. That looks pretty good for the automatic transmission. Shot of the firewall, the new insulation pad is all intact. Looks good. Here under the hood, decent shape. Didn't see any stamped numbers on this one here. Okay, here's a shot of the pulleys, and again, the engine is sounding it's nice and quiet. It sounds really solid. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the other side here. They captured the welds there, and then looking at the side, you can see the welds here on the right fender, but on the left fender, I'll just stretch over and do that now. There, you can't see them. All right. And let's see if I can still open this here. All right, so we are seeing some smoke though. So it always seems to be something, but moving on here. And I think, and talking to the owner, I think the timing chain was done, but we'll have to find it again if we actually went through the whole engine. Okay. Another shot here. Okay. Check the power steering. Check the engine oil. Look good. Got the numbers for the fuel pump. Okay. Brake fluid look good. And then I was kind of looking for that wetness now. I don't see it underneath the cylinder head, so it seems to be a little lower. I don't know what else is out there, or down there I should say. I'm going to rev it now. So it's responsive, right? Not like the first car that I checked in, I think it was in Beverly Hills, right? The Stylus, that one, it really struggled to run properly. This one, it's just very responsive. Taking a look at the gauges here, and I'm going to squeeze in. Okay. Tank shown at half, oil pressure pegged up to the very top, and looking at 180 on the temperature. Odometer is at 71,476. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it, and then wait a second here. Let's restart it. So nice. So once it warms up, it fires right up. When it's been sitting for a while, it's like 10, 12 cranks, and then it comes alive. Do it one more time. Key out of the ignition, and let's start it again. Okay, good. All right, I'm moving on. I'm just gonna take advantage while this car is up on the lift, just to do a little walk around, right? It's always nice to see the different angles of the car, especially with the fluorescent lighting. Fluorescent lighting will show me something different than the natural lighting, and then vice versa. So let's just take advantage of that right now. And I'll just do a walk around. Right, so it's looking pretty clean. I always like to attack these from the back side, so let me start off on the back side as well. Let me go do this so you see everything. Okay. So far, this definitely is a nicer example of what we've seen before, but there always seems to be something, though, right? Seems to be the nature of the beast. And if I guess at this point, if we're looking for perfection, I mean, there's those cars for $200,000 or $150,000. So I think that's where the trade-off is going to be. So anytime we get access to a lift, it's just an added bonus because it really lets me dig into the underside and see some stuff that I typically may not be able to when I'm limited to that prone position, right? So let's go ahead and just dive right on in here. So just starting off here with the right front wheel, I checked for any leaks coming from the caliper. It looks like it's probably been worked at sometimes, so maybe that's been addressed already. I'm just doing a quick little tap here and checking for looseness. Spin the tire, spinning nice and freely, right? All right. Looking at the bushings here, I mean, we're starting to see some cracking here, but still has some life into it. I know when it comes to replacing bushings, it really just changes the feeling of the vehicle. One thing I did notice, they use a lot of black spray paint to paint things. I would have preferred to have seen it in its natural state, but I understand why they do it for presentation purposes. Okay, looking at the right frame area here, we can see already here where it's been worked here, and then the bucket here, you can see where it's kind of just out of place. Here's shots of the some of the spot welding there, right? And then let's go ahead and turn around here, and you can see where the right bucket too. You can see all the welds there too. All right, and then here's the rest of the wheel well. I'll just do the whole thing so I don't forget to come back here. All right, and then here, there's some impact here. Not sure they maybe put a service jack here and lifted it up there, but there is a small indentation here. But the rails are looking pretty good though, for the most part, pretty solid, right? But with the undercoating and the spray paint, kind of makes it difficult to really see everything. Right? Horn assembly good, bushings good, radiator support nicely supported. Hoses, nice and still soft, right? No leaks coming from the. This is going to be for the transmission, right? Looking at the engine belts, right? Look pretty good. Don't see any cracking there. I know what's really good about getting these condition reports. It you give it like a full report, right? And that way, I have some clients that use it as a punch list, where they decide to buy the car, they know it's got some issues, but they use this reporting as a punch list to fix things as they go along. And it's just kind of nice to know everything about the car. Okay, looks like there is moisture coming from the front crankshaft seal. Right, and everything I'm showing, I do have still photos of it. And then here around the power steering pump, I see some wetness, but I don't see a drip. Right. So moving on here on the left side. Okay, got some welding here. Some more welds there. Okay, let's get a quick shot of everything here underneath, just so you have that. All right, moving on here, still on the left side here. Usually I see these all banged up, but okay, all right, decent. Let me do a U-turn here. And see here, this bucket here looks like it's intact. It doesn't have the same welding as the other one does. So at some point, it looks like the right side may have sustained impact damage. Here, pretty straightforward here. It's missing the little toe hooks right there, so it probably got ripped off at some point. Tore off, I should say. Just a quick shot of the wheel well area. This definitely beats the floor ones, where we don't get to see as much. Something going on here. Looks like some kind of patchwork, right? Again, pretty solid. To see what's going on here. All right, let's turn around. Looking at the caliper. Again, it looks like they may have been redone. Good. Here, this moisture fuel pump here. So there's moisture around the base of the cylinder head. Or maybe coming up from higher. Wetness around the fuel pump. I've got the numbers as well. Be able to capture that. Right. Transmission, and then looking at this side or the underside here. Okay. This little impact there, out of whack. Okay. Looking pretty solid so far. Transmission. I'll just get a view. You get a view of everything now. It's gonna be a really long video. I'm sure you don't mind. Okay, just the wetness, but I don't see actual drips. Got the numbers, very important. Okay. And I was relieved to finally see the stamp number here. I've seen so many of these cars and I hadn't been able to see them. I thought they stopped doing it for whatever reason. But so we finally captured that number. It's a little impact mark right there. Floor pan looks good. Okay, looking at the exhaust pipe here. Looks like we've got visitors. Right? Looking pretty straightforward. And then I try to get the best shot as I can of the transmission. Looks like I'm even better here on the video. All right, moving on. Pretty solid there. Okay, I also got the numbers on the differential. There you go. Right there. Another shot there. Okay. Calipers look dry. Bushings look good on the shocks. So there's some cracking here for the suspension. Okay. Fuel pump, I don't see any signs of fluid leaks. Hoses nice and soft. Feel good. Okay, everything nicely secured here on the back end. And then looking at the rear supports here. This is typical. Typically they'll put a ring right here or a hook, and it doesn't handle the weight of the car, so that gets pulled. Still pretty solid there. All right, everything there, good. Let's do a quick little side view here. Chrome looks really nice. All right, and moving on. So I've been road testing here for a mile or two already. We're in 4, so it's shifting nicely right now. Driving straight, I got my hands off the steering wheel. Right, looking good. And then I'll come to a stop here and check to see how it stops, and it's stopping straight. RPM still good. We got the oil pressure gauge that's actively working with us. Coolant temperature is just below the 3/4 mark there. Odometer reading 71,477. We got the AC that's blowing cold, and I was able to verify the fan operation for the defroster, so that does work. I know I may have mentioned earlier. I'm gonna start off in second gear this time when we finally get the green light, and then we'll go through the gears manually. I'll stay quiet as well, so you can we can listen to the engine together, and just waiting for our cue. So I'll probably just shut the video off right now. I'll back on with the video. Second gear. Third. Fourth. So shifting is no issues, no slipping. And there's the final gear right there. So yep, we're scooting right along. The wind noise is because I've got the window slightly rolled down. It's really humid here, so that's cooling us down. I don't hear any suspension noises, any clunks or clags. And shifting again is good, braking is good, transmission is shifting well. It's just floating around 2,800 RPM. And then we're going to come to a quick stop, stepping on the brakes abruptly, and still performing well. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the video now because just so I can focus on getting us across safely.